Kusazongpo and welcome to Bhutan this week with Pemal Harden. Our top stories for the week. The National Council elections for 2013 will be on 23rd April. The Speaker has been sentenced to 2.5 years and the Home Minister to 1 year imprisonment by the Mongar District Court. The National Council MP Sangizam becomes the first from an apolitical body to join politics. The National Council elections 2013 will take place on 23rd April. This was announced by the Chief Election Commissioner at a press conference last Sunday.
Announcing the poll day for the National Council election, the Chief Election Commissioner said it is an obedience to the roll decree received on 9th March calling elections to the National Council. And in pursuance of the Election Act, the National Council elections will be held on 23rd April. This, he said, is because the House can reconstitute on the date of expiry of the term, as per the Constitution. The first National Council term expires on 28th of April this year.
National Council members wishing to contest elections, as was notified earlier, are expected to resign from the House in time for them to participate in the Zongdus that will be arranged. The Zongdu process in each Geok and Zongchomdes to select the nominees will start from 12th of March 2013 onwards.
Tashukunza Wangdi also announced the schedule of the National Council elections, including nominations of candidates, electoral rolls and polling management. The candidates have to submit nomination papers on or before the 31st March. The campaigning period starts from 1st of April till 21st April. The Election Commission of Bhutan released the draft electoral roll for the National Council elections. They also released the specific voter information program for the second parliamentary elections. More than 380,000 people are expected to vote in the council elections. Karmatsring, BBS News.
The Mongar court passed the verdicts on the very high-profile and closely followed Gelpushing land allotment case a week ago.
This morning, the court sentenced the National Assembly Speaker to 2.5 years imprisonment for official misconduct in the Gelpushing land allotment case. He has been convicted for official misconduct, fraud, forgery and deceptive practices during the Gelpushing land allotment between 1999 to 2002. Tsokpan Jigmitsudim, then the Mongar Zongda, had been the chairman of the Land Allotment Committee. The Anti-Corruption Commission has laid 23 charges against the Speaker. Home Minister Minjudoji is also sentenced to a year's prison term by the court. The Home Minister also, as the Mongar Zongda and the chairman of the Land Allotment Committee, had allotted plots to Kachudasang, Dramisidasang and Kunzangdema, a private individual. He has been found guilty of official misconduct. And the Plot Allotment Committee Secretary Dichin Singhe received a year's sentence. He has been charged for allotting a plot to his sister during the Gelpushing land allotment when the Speaker was the chairman. 14 committee members have been sentenced to 1 year imprisonment for official misconduct. They were accused of failing to carry out their duties diligently while allotting plots to Kachudasang, Dramisidasang and Kunzang Dema. Of the 18 total members, 2 are studying abroad and have not been sentenced as yet, while 2 others have been acquitted as they had not signed the minutes of the meeting. All who have been sentenced can pay tumthi or cash penalty in lieu of the sentence term. Compiled for Pimanamge and Kingatashi, Tishinongmo, BBS News.
The National Council MP Sangizam became the first member from an apolitical body to join politics last week. 49-year-old Sangizam will be representing the Druk Nyamrup Sokpa from North Thimphu constituency. While in the National Council, she was a member of the Legislative Committee and the National High-Level Land Committee. MP Sangizam is the second woman candidate beside Doji Choden to join Druk Nyamrup Sokpa. DNT now has 43 candidates confirmed. The party said it will reveal rest of the candidate at a later date. The promoter of a private television station has filed a case against the Bhutan Infocom and Media Authority with the Media Tribunal Appellate. The case was filed following Bigma's delay and denial to issue a license for a TV station. The promoter of Thimphu TV, Ugan Sechapdoji, said they had been asked to file an elaborate expression of interest and had attended several rounds of meetings with Bigma. From the 4 EOIS, Thimphu TV and the Tashi Group had met all the criteria. According to the letter issued by Bigma, the two applicants were denied licenses in the absence of a Bigma Act. BBS is yet to receive a response from Bigma.
We are not asking the Bigma to issue us our license because, like I said, that is their prerogative. It's their right to give us a license or not. But what we are saying is that what expenses we have incurred because of what Bigma has asked us to do, and we have not violated any rules, any regulation, and because of that, we are asking Bigma to refund us our money if they cannot give us a license now. See, we would have liked to have the license now because it's prior to election, It makes more commercial sense, first of all, to be active prior to the elections, because definitely we will have more advertisements, we will be able to generate more income. I mean, the reality is that even all the newspapers wait for an election year, because that is the year that they can generate the maximum amount of revenues. Secondly, it also highlights the TV station more, It makes our marketing campaign for this TV station much easier. We have support from advertisers. We have support from people who will give us funding. And through that, we will be able to go to different zonkaks, make people aware. And these are all added advantages of having a TV station prior to an election year.
Many people visiting the Thimphu hospital complain that concerned authorities are not serious about addressing the water problem at the hospital. The hospital is in urgent need of a continuous water supply.
The Thimphu hospital ward is in dire need for continuous water supply, but the problem is nothing new. Patients and their attendants say the hospital ward gets water only once in a day, and that is just for 1 hour in the morning. Whatever little they get is stored in bottles beside their beds.
The water is not sufficient at all, and the water we have collected in few bottles is also not enough.
The hospitals raise awareness on cleanliness in our village, but coming here at the hospital, it is just an irony, and now I have mixed feelings. They are the one to raise awareness on hygiene.
The problem does not end here. Even the hospital staff on duty are left with little or no option.
We touch one patient, the next thing we need to do is to wash our hand to touch another patient. So we cannot do any procedure without water, and we cannot keep the hygiene of the hospital. I don't know from who's responsible it is, but our duty is to inform that there is no water here. We need water.
Municipal office in Serang is aware of the water crisis at the hospital ward. According to the municipal executive engineer Teshofel, the hospital needs to address the issue themselves.
It is not true that they receive water only once in a day, though we are not able to supply water for 24 hours. From our side, we made sure that they get water twice in a day, that is morning and evening. The water crisis is not new, and it has been here for many years. The hospital management is aware of it for many years, but never came with the proposal, nor did they include in their plans to build a reservoir tank, so we are not able to help them.
Meanwhile, hospital has plans to build reservoir. Until then, patients and staff have to be at the brunt of the problem. Compiled for Yishing YouTube, Shurab Zangmo for BBS News.
There is not even a single medical store in Tashkang Zonkak. Locals feel highly inconvenienced by the lack.
There was one medical shop in Tashkang town, but it was shut down by the Zonkak officials since the owner had no certificate which certifies him to sell medicines. The lack of medical store, people say, is inconvenient for them since they have to visit the hospital and wait for a doctor to get even a painkiller.
Earlier, when the medicine was not available in the hospital, we used to buy it from the store. But since there isn't any store now, we have no option, we need a store.
People come to my shop and ask for medicine. We need a medical store. If you fall sick when the hospital is closed, we cannot buy any medicine. The hospitals prescribe medicine for us, but there isn't any medical store. We need one badly.
The Zongkak, however, received proposals to open a medical shop in the Zongkak, but they had to reject the proposals since they failed to provide trained certificates. A person who wants to open a medical shop has to be trained in pharmacy or undergo trainings provided by the Health Ministry.
For instance, if I am a retired doctor or a health assistant and with my license, if I keep someone else in the store, then this is not allowed. But if people need help, they can always count on us.
He added that the Zongkak is willing to help interested people in opening a medical shop in the Zongkak if they have a valid trained certificate. Cheche, BBS News, Konglong.
The private stone crushing units in Gyelephu are finding it difficult to find a market for their stone aggregates. The owners say stock worth millions is lying idle at the crushing units.
Gyelephu has 5 stone crushing units, of which 4 are owned by private and one by the NRDCL. The crushing units, particularly those belonging to the private, are finding it difficult to market their aggregates. Each unit has between 150 and 400 tripper truck loads of aggregates lying in stock. It is worth 1.5 million to 4 million niltrum. The private crushing unit said sustenance has become difficult because there is no demand for aggregates in the local market. The general manager of a private crushing unit said it's been about 6 months since the demand declined.
The first reason for decline in demand is there are too many crushing units here, and the second is because of the suspension of housing loan. Since there is no loan, construction is less, so we are not able to sell our aggregates.
The Sershong stone crushing unit was established about a year ago as the aggregate business looked promising then. Things have changed now. The owner says he is yet to recover the amount he invested.
We have
to buy stone from NRDCL, and moreover we have less buyer in Bhutan, so it is lying in stock. We can export given the permission, but we are not allowed, so it is a problem for us. NRDCL being government owned, it is convenient for them, while we being private cannot compete with them.
They said competing with NRDCL is difficult as its rate is lower than theirs. Moreover, the NRDCL can export the aggregates to India, whereas the private crushing units cannot. The unit manager of NRDCL said it's not true because private companies have the liberty to play with market forces, unlike the government-owned companies where everything is fixed.
But as I have heard through some of the purchaser, I think our prices are a bit higher than them, and those complaints were there, being government organization, own organization. Why can't you sell at the lower price? I think regarding this export of aggregates, of course, to allow or not to allow, NRDCL doesn't have anything in hand. But to export our own aggregates, we haven't been to India to search the market, but as we have in stock, and the people from the India, so they came here and they just requested for aggregates as we have in stock, and we cannot supply within within our country. So we have requested the management if they could consider us to sell the aggregates.
The private crushing unit said there is demand for aggregates from neighboring Indian towns, but they cannot export as the NRDCL is refusing to give them the permission to export. The NRDCL says they do not have the authority to grant export permission. BBS found that it's the Department of Geology and Mines that has the authority to grant such permission. Shara BBS News, Galifu.
By the end of March this year, the Regional Labour Office in Phinsiling expects to have 10 companies registered with occupational health and safety committees of their own. The companies were randomly identified by the office. This is as mandated by the Regulation on Occupational Health, Safety and Welfare launched in April last year by the Labour Ministry.
With the formation of occupational health and safety committees in the companies, the Labour Ministry expects to increase self-inspection and monitoring of safety in companies.
We have been conducting regular inspection through our regional offices. Our workers are very careless in the workplace, and once the committee is formed, I think the committee will have institutionalized a mechanism where they will have a provision to monitor their own workers, whether they are complying the rules and regulations. OHS safety, occupational health and safety rules in the workplace.
To further strengthen the formation process, the Regional Labour Office is conducting orientation programs for the identified companies. It has already completed the program with 7 companies in Phinsiling. 3 more from Gomtu will be covered in the following week. According to the Clause 31 of the regulation, a company employing more than 50 employees of those involved in hazardous process should constitute of a health and safety committee. Labour officials have said that identified companies have already formed the committees. A deadline has been set for them to register their committees with the Labour Ministry. Compiled for Sonam Mongdi, Sonam Lhamo for BBS News.
The Chikthun Pendets Hokpa in Paro provides counseling sessions and outreach programs for people with addiction problems. The center is, however, facing challenges.
Located near the taxi station in Paro town, the Chitin Pendet Sokpa is an establishment not many are aware of. It has been functioning for over 8 months now. Its clients are those addicted to alcohol and drugs. The center is a branch office with the headquarters based in Thimphu. It was founded by His Majesty the King in 2006.
I have nothing today, all because of my past addiction problems. I have lost everything. When I think today, I regret a lot. But still, I am happy that I have been able to deal with it and also help others.
But he said, except for a few local people, the center has not received much help from the community.
Most of the members here are without jobs or support from families, so we provide them with meals. Some don't even have homes, so we let them stay here. We have received support from a few businessmen in cash and kind. But I think since the center is quite new, mostly do not know about it. Opening this help center in Peru is helping the people with addiction problems. When they come here, we give them advice and try to help them. This also makes us happy.
Sonam Singh said one of the reasons the center is still running is because of the support from Her Royal Highness Aji Kezang Wangmo Wangchu. The center has around 22 regular members and has treated over 300 drop-in clients.
My parents gave up on me, and I also lost my job. But after coming here and taking part in its programs, it helped me get back into society. I am grateful to His Majesty for establishing such a center because it has a lot of benefit for people with addiction problems.
The center also gives counseling and advice to parents and relatives to deal with addicts. Compiled for Ishigelsen, Karmatring, PBS News.
Sherapsi FM is playing a vital role in educating and entertaining the students of Sherapsi College in Kanglung. The FM station is run by student volunteers.
When the classes are over and dusk sets in, most students at Sherapsi College find little or no entertainment at all. And apart from what they learn in their classes, they usually don't know what's happening in the country or even in their own college. And that is when Sherapsi FM comes to the rescue.
94.7 FM.
The small room consisting of a desktop, few microphones and a sound system makes up the Sherapsi FM studio. Broadcasting at FM 94.7 MHz, it goes on air every day at 7 in the evening for 2 hours, 1 hour each for Dzongkha and English. When we visited the studio recently, Sita, a third-year student, was hosting the English session. While Pema Wanchu and his friend Pup Om were co-hosting the Dzongkha session. Every day the station airs different programs. On Mondays, they talk about issues happening in the country and their college. They discuss issues on health, politics and other topics on Thursdays. And on Wednesdays, music are played for entertainment. And every Sunday, the radio jockeys discuss about the celebrities.
Since I'm also the RJ, I'm much more connected with the FM, and whenever I get a free time, most of the time, in order to make myself relax, because most of the time I'm busy with my assignment and other works. So if possible, if I'm able to get a free time and spare time, I have to listen.
It is informative for youth like us. There are many programs which help us to go further for the youth.
The FM station currently broadcasts their program only within the college campus, but in the future, they are planning to expand the FM service to the whole community in and around the college campus. Ishitoki, PBS News, Kanglung.
That is all for this week on the program. Thank you for watching. This is Pemal Hajan saying bye.